So Emotive Analytics is a company that assesses the emotional dynamics of consumer behavior. What does that mean? Emotional dynamics are really a framework for why people do what they do. They consist of several components. Experiences are what happens to people, events that happen in people's lives. Cognitions are the thoughts that we have about things, and then the emotions and feelings are the affective part of that.
Our emotional responses are information that guide us to how we interact with the world. So we're constantly scanning our environment, trying to determine, for each person or thing in the environment, is this good, is it bad, is it a threat, should I approach it, should I avoid it?
We don't decide to do things. We don't actually do things until emotions provide the value for us to do those things. And that value is triggered by experiences and cognitions. We do what we do, we buy what we buy, because our emotions and feelings tell us to. And all of these things working together do so both non-consciously, implicitly, as well as consciously or explicitly. Knowing how they feel, what they think about it, both implicitly and explicitly, is important for any product or service and for really any marketing endeavor.
At the end of the day, what we want to know is what's going to predict how people actually behave.
It seems like in any study that we do, there is some insight that we have that's surprising to us. We have techniques to get at the feelings that people are having that they may not even be aware of, or they may not even be aware that they're impacting their behavior in the way that they are.
The kinds of implicit responses that we're measuring give us a window into people's immediate gut level reactions, which are likely to drive people's behavior under different kinds of conditions and in statistically over and above what people tell us on surveys.
IE-PRO-U is the name of our product. The I stands for implicit, the E stands for explicit, PRO stands for profiling, and U stands for the fact that you can do it yourself in your own office with an online connection. This technique will allow you to see things that are hidden that you wouldn't know are influencing behavior, and it may launch you into getting some new insights about your product that will help sales or help whatever problem you're having with it.
We typically use implicit and explicit measurements together, and what that allows us to do is to compare the two side by side, see how they're similar and see how they're different, and also look at how they predict other kinds of behavior. And the really interesting cases are when the implicit test tells us something different than what participants are telling us voluntarily on the survey. And we often see that. We actually discovered this method by mistake. So we were looking for a procedure to test a mathematical model of how people correct their judgments for unwanted influences. So we created this task in which a prime picture could unintentionally influence people's evaluations of a target picture. And then we warned them not to fall for it and that they should adjust their responses to correct for that unwanted influence. But in experiment after experiment, no matter how much we warned people, they couldn't seem to correct their judgment. So after a while, we gave up on using this as a measure of how people correct their judgments and used it instead as a measure of unwanted influences.
Even though this is an automated do-it-yourself system, Dr. Payne and I are always in the background, and we're always there for you to answer your questions, to help you with any technical problems you may be having. And if you want to, we can also do supplemental studies in addition to the ones you're doing on your do-it-yourself platform.